morning, fellow boat builders. Almost noonish though. We're getting a late start, 10:30. But look at this. This goes here. This is what joins the two. So this is like a momentous occasion when two become one. It's like a marriage, folks. A marriage, they're happily married forever and ever. So back to reality. So that piece, we've already cut it. We've already angled. You see this angle that we cut here? I don't know if you can see that, but there's an angle there that we cut. There, you can see the angle there. That angle fits with this going up here. With this angle here. So that slides in, and we want it to meet here, and then we want to set the other one on top, and we got to angle it all the way across too. So we got to figure out stuff today, how we're going to actually do the connection between the two. I mean, I have a basic idea, but the details and measurements and everything, we got to work all that out. So for now, we're going to get busy. I got to drop that in here. I've got to cut this piece of plywood. I had to figure out what the width is here and how I want to join it. Here, honey, you want to slide this in so we can just kind of quickly show everybody? We'll slide this back. I can one-hand it here with my camera in this hand, but she's going to have to two-hand it back there. So we're coming across, button it up against there, and dropping it down. Boom, she fits. Okay, so this is basically how the connection works. And then of course we epoxy and nail into all this stuff. And there's another board that goes up here and across over to here. The thing too is this is angled. See, it's angled like that. It's not 90 degrees with the center line of the boat. It's angled. So we got to deal with that angle. And I got to figure out, do I want to grind my 2x4 to that angle? And I got to put plywood here too, so that's not going to be flat. The other issue we got to resolve. I can grind it at a 90 degree, but it gets thinner. But it might not be that much. I'll have to calculate. I'll get like a straight edge, like a center line here, and then go 90 degrees off and see how much we have to grind off or cut off. I can saber saw that if I need to make this perpendicular to the center line of the boat. And that way the plywood will just lay flat and it'll be a straight line all the way across. We showed you the problems. Now we got to come up with solutions. Paradise. Let me get back. You can see the whole thing. If I get back here, got to go under this every time. So here we go. And again, there'll be plywood across the back. There'll be before we nail anything, we got to go through the paralleling process once again. Paradise. Did he say paradise out? Maybe. I'll say it just in case. Paradise out. Well, I'll say it again because again the rooster was crowing. What we need to do, because as you see, this is not, as I said previously, is not perpendicular to the center line, this surface here. So we got to cut it. It's a 1/4 inch here, 0 here. So there's a 1/4 of an inch difference between here and here being flat with that side. And so to put the plywood on, put the 2x4s on, it's got to be straight. You can see it's angling like that up on the inside because obviously the boat is angled as perpendicular. Anyway, it needs to be fixed. So I've adjusted the angle on the saw. My saber saw here, that saber saw is upside down, of course, to match that angle there. And we're going to go to town, and I hope this turns out good. If not, there's the saying here in the boat building world, epoxy. You just fill it in with epoxy. Any mistake, any space that didn't work out, fill it in with epoxy and you're good to go. Epoxy is very, very, very strong, so it's not a bad solution. It's a definitely workable one. So I'm gonna go to town. Let's see what happens. Paradise. you'll see the results momentarily. Paradise. Well, you might or might not can tell, but we cut it. You see the angle here? This is smaller than this, and it really should be parallel, lined up with that. And if we take the backboard, this is the board for the back of the boat, you can see pretty much lays out flat. That's the way we want it. Over here, obviously, we got this big gap because we got to trim this much off of this side. So I'm using my saber saw, angling the foot so that it closely matches about a 1/4 inch depth here, cut off, and nothing here. And we'll do a little bit of grinding to make it kind of smooth and flat, but other than that, we're looking good, folks. So I'm on this side now. So here we go. Get the saw. Paradise out. All right. You want to see something? It's not done, but it's boxed in. So you get the visual effect here of the Catamaran. So this is it, folks. We got, and of course all this wood won't be here, but this will be an empty hole where actually we can put a chair here. One of those white plastic chairs will fit here, and a white plastic chair will fit here, there, and there. So that's 4 people can actually sit in a chair. I'm not going to build chairs in because I want things to come out and go in, and I don't want things to be in the way. Permanent structures. So this is all open area here. We got the front on here like this. We'll have, of course, 2x4 going across here, 2x4 going across here, there, and there. Also, we will have a 1x4, which is, I don't have a 1x4, but we will have a 1x4 setting on this notched in area going across to there on the back side of this. How do you get a 1x4? Oh, 1x2. I'm sorry. That was wrong. 1x2. And this will go like here. See, across here. Just to kind of give, I mean, there'll be a 2x4 on this side, but this will kind of keep, kind of like a splash guard. If waves come up, they'll hit that and hopefully splash back down. So, this, my friends, is what we're looking at. This deck here, we can put all our gear on, coolers, rods and reels, life jackets, whatever. I've got to figure out a way, as I said in the earlier video that you may have seen, that I got to figure out where I'm going to set, because the electric trolling motor goes right there, and that's where the steering arm is. So you have to steer it back and forth from this deck. Unless you sit here and you got a long arm, and I do have long arms, so that might also work. Going to put some 2x2s under here, from here to the back, to stiffen this plywood so it doesn't try to bow, and it's going longitudinally. It's not cutting across, because if a wave hits it, that knocks you back. So we'll have them going. Oh, maybe just 2 going from here back and from here back underneath on the underside, and we may do 1x2s. I don't know. We'll see how that works out. I like the 2x2 concept because that's really sturdy, and you could jump on that and nothing would happen. Let's do 2x2, okay? Everybody agree? Everybody agrees? Raise your hand or say aye. The ayes have it. We're going with 2x2s. Okay, and we're going to go to lunch, really, because it is 1:30 now. It's lunch. It's way past lunchtime, but we ate a hearty breakfast, so we're not starving. But man, I'm liking the look of that. I hope you guys do too. And look how wide the back is there. It really looks like a catamaran now. With that wide back, it's got sugar scoops and stairs, folks. This ain't your typical jungle catamaran, buddy. This is jungle slash whatever the real catamaran would be called. Jungle slash fancy. Anyways, I'm gonna go eat. Paradise. Hey, y'all. Look what we did. I cut this 2x4 at an angle so it's flat here, and I cut this one at an angle so that it matches the angle there, and then we epoxy it and nail it there, and then it's a nice, fits right square into there. And this one, of course, fits right here. We got to trim this end off here to make it even, but we wanted to get it straight flush with the top first. So there we go. I'm almost sweating. That's how much work it was. But we're going to put a cushion here so you can kind of put your feet up there and lean back here if you want. And then we're going to put a net here. I was going to put some kind of like a seating platform here to sit here and dangle your feet. But then my wife said, well, why don't we just put a net? And it's like, yeah, that's what's supposed to be here. You know, Catamaran, they got those trampoline nets, and our Trimaran over there has trampoline nets. So we're going to have a trampoline net. Yeehaw. Fancy schmancy. So we're done with that. It is 4:45, or is it 4:30? 4:30. I keep watching the second hand on this thing. It looks almost as big as the minute hand, so it's confusing. But anyway, that's what we got so far today. All the pieces cut, stuff and trimmed. We build catamarans and trimarans, folks. Is it trimaran? See all the little stuff on it? Yeah, it's all covered up in the raincoats to keep all the water out, and dirt and dust and chickens and lizards and frogs and centipedes and even a python. We had a python in that boat one day, a small one, but nonetheless, it was up on the top in the blue tarpaulin there. It was laying in there. How the hell did you get up there? Huh? He's about maybe 1.5 feet, 2 feet long, little youngin'. But I threw him off, and he hit the grass, and then he ran into the grass, and I never got him. I was going to kill him, but he got away, so can't blame me for killing pythons, because I didn't get to kill it. Anyway, I'm done for the day. Paradise. All right, everybody. You know what we're doing now? This is the deck between these two boats. This is the bottom of the deck, and these are the kind of strengtheners we're putting here and over here. So right now we're going to epoxy this one and this one to here. Then we're going to clamp it here and clamp it here and clamp it down there, clamp it down there, and then turn it over and then nail it, because we have to nail from the other side of this ply. All right, we did the epoxy side of the I guess I don't know what you call that, deck, where it joins it. We did that part. We epoxied it all. We flushed these ends here because this is the back and it goes flush. Plywood sits right here on top, so that goes flush. And then the other end is going to stick out because we've got the other one goes in front of that, not on top of it. The other plywood at the front goes on top of that. So anyway, we're nailing them now, boys and girls, so we will do that and we'll be back. All right, they are now beefing up the back where we're going to attach well, the plywood for the trolling motor goes across here, and then a 2x4 goes from there at the flush with the top of this all the way across over to there, flush with the top of that, of course. And it's all going to nail into here and here. We got these nailed. The back. We've got to put the deck on here. Well, actually, we got to put the deck on here on the front first. Then we put the deck here second. Then we put the back plate. Yeah. Then we put the back plate on. Okie dokie, folks. Look at this. This is the official front of this catamaran, and we're putting. Yes, we got a little 1x2 splash guard here, so if the wave hits it, it'll hopefully throw it out. And then we got the main 2x4 here going across cross brace. We will also have 2x4 solid from here over to here too. Let me get back. This will be solid 2x4s at the top because the cleat goes here, and that's got to be strong. So that's why we didn't run this 2x4 all the way across, because we already got from here all the way to here solid all the way across. 2x4s plus 1 inch of plywood. I'll put 2 layers of 1/2 inch plywood on top of here, or maybe 3/8. I don't know. We'll do probably 3/8 because I got extra. I think I got enough 3/8 scrap that it'll work fine here. So that's what we're going to do. And so now the next step is we put the bottom on. That's going to be even more exciting, folks. So stay tuned. Oh, this is the bottom right here. It's upside down, by the way. You got to turn it over. And how you get the nails. Like I said, we have all different sizes of nails for depending upon the thickness of the wood we're going through. We try to come about 1/4 inch shy of going all the way through. And so far, we've been able to do it. We've been able to actually accomplish that with our nails. So, we are going to put this in next. I got to make some more epoxy. We got slather epoxy on here. And a little bit up there. And then we got one more cross brace. We put the same wood, just kind of turned upside down because the angle here, it's already cut right here in this one. You can see the angle's cut. So that'll fill in on the bottom here, going across.
You want nails?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah, so we're going to put a big one in here because, see that'll go all the way through into the meat there. Yeah. So we're going to do one there. The other ones are smaller. I always worry about the small nails. They'll like drive a big nail all the way through and come out the other side and just grind it off. And for some reason I'm not thrilled about that. I do have to, see right here, got a little extra over it. I'm going to have to grind or saber saw. I'll just take the saber saw and nip that off down there too. So it's just right. And so these are the heavy duty nails here. Heavy duty is good, folks. Especially when you're out there in the ocean. Right now, this is just a dinghy, so we don't anticipate heavy seas and stuff, but it's a big enough boat that if I put like a 20 horsepower gasoline engine on the back, this thing would be badass. I'll see how it handles in that before I jump into 20 horse, 10 horse would do, 15 horse would do, whatever. Somewhere between 10 and 20 horsepower would be a pretty exciting ride. So anyway, I got to mix epoxy. We got slathered all the way on these, all the way down to the back down there, and all the way on that one, all the way to the back down there, and on both sides of the bottom where it lays on there, because we put, it's like sandwich, we put peanut butter on one side, jelly on the other, and squeeze them. That's just how we say it. But I got to get going because that epoxy is going to get hard, and we're going to try to use it too before we end with this. So I'm going to go mix epoxy. Honey, you got to get the epoxy off that because I got to mix Paradise out. Let's look at the front. I like it, folks. I really like it. Look at that. That looks like a catamaran, doesn't it? I mean, with the angled front end and all, that looks like the right angle and everything. I'm just happy, folks. Happy me. Paradise out. We are now putting in the floor, or whatever. I don't know what you would call this, other than the floor. You call it like the center section. I don't know what they call the middle of a catamaran. These outer things are called OMAs, O-M-A, and apostrophe S if you're, spelling it, I guess. But the inner side, the center side, you don't know. I don't know what that's called. But we are, we got all epoxy. Now we got to do the back part there. I don't know if you can see how angled that is. I don't like that angle back there, folks. The thing leaning like that, but it's a handmade, well, it's actually V'ing out like that, and it looks like it leans, but it's really V'ing out. This one, though, is not V'ing out. This one is straight. So the distance between these 2 points is less than the distance between these 2 points. Somehow we got this thing here V'd out. We shouldn't have. And so anyway, we're nailing it, hammering it, getting it all done. I don't like people being in it because it pushes these tires down and then the boat moves and it's not level no more. But he's in the center, so hopefully we're balancing and everything's kind of framed up and I'm locking it in position. So whatever position it was in, it is probably still in. I'm thinking it's still in. So let's see what time it is. It is 5 o'clock. Okay. Maybe we can get one more piece in. Yeah, we do need to get this front 2x4 on the inside there in, so that that's all locked in and tight and watertight with the epoxy. Okay, honey, get your scrape paper and scrape between these. See this here?
Yeah.
See this line?
Yeah.
Because we got to set that 2x4 on there.
Where's your other putty knife?
Okay, so anyway, I got to go find a putty knife, and we'll be back with more of my paradise on Italian Island. Oh yeah, we're building a dinghy cat. A cat dinghy. Catamaran dinghy, catamaran, I don't know what you call it. One of those two. Paradise. Yo, fellow boat builders. Yo ho ho. And a catamaran, huh? Dingy. Let's add dingy on there. Well, boys and girls, ladies and gents, ladies and germs, they say in the old days, we've got the front done here. We've got the deck done here, and now we're doing the back. Here, this is where the electric outboard trolling motor runs is. So we're nailing all these guys in here, and we are soon to be done. Now the next thing we got to do is go with this board here, this long one, all the way across. All the way across. It's going to be flush with the top here. So, and then after that, we're pretty much done with the back, I think. We've done, we had to spread the holes apart because this hole here was angled a little bit like that at the back, not the front. The front was straight, so there was a twist. So what we did, we took this board here, this long one here, the lighting is screwed up somehow. Okay, took this long one here and clamped him here with a giant clamp and here with a giant clamp. And then we went down there and lifted him up, because if you put it straight here, it was way about 3 inches low down there. And then we raised that up, and when we raised that up, that caused this end here to twist back to where it should be. Then, because we couldn't put all this in, if that was clamped on here, we took that 2x2 there and wedged it between here. We cut it too long, and then we put it on one end and hammered it up until it slid up straight and held them apart the way they're supposed to be held apart. Anyway, we are going to continue to hammer and nail and slather epoxy all the way across here, all the way to over there, and slather it all the way from this end all the way to that, and then slap that bad boy on and nail him. We're going to nail him into these 2x4s here. See these 2x4s here, here. So we got two 2x4s sandwich, 2x2 2x4s and a 1x4 sandwich here. We got a 1x4 and a 2x4 sandwich here, and here a single 2x4. Same on that end there that we can nail into. So once all this is on there and that's done, we can knock that little guy out, and the holes should not misbehave at all. They should be, again, this is a handmade boat, folks, so perfection, everything being perfect is not going to happen. But it's pretty damn close. It's amazingly close. Amazingly close. So we are pretty good for now. I'm going to put the camera down, and then we're going to do that big strip across the back. So paradise. All right, folks, if you want to see some epoxy action, this is the board that goes across there. So I've slathered epoxy on, I don't know, 2/3 of it, 3/4, something like that. But I put it on pretty thick because whatever oozes out, we take and use it to fill gaps in other epoxy work where we didn't have enough for the little cracks and gaps and stuff. So we don't mind over epoxying to some degree, but I just want to show you guys how this is done. This is basically putty knives, and we got different widths of ones. We got 1 or 1.5, we got 2, we got 3, we got 4, Got a 6-inch one for really wide, which we're going to use on the stairs here, because we got a layer about 1/8 of an inch thick epoxy on these stairs to get them super waterproof, and so when people walk on them, they don't scratch through the paint and get in the wood. You know the story. Water and wood don't mix. I know you've heard that if you've watched me, but it don't. Every boat that they bring in here, to repair, they got scratched and water got in the wood and the wood rotted. Every one. So wood and water don't mix, folks. Anyway, I had to get busy. I got to finish my end, and then we got to go to town, clamping and nailing and all kinds of fun stuff. Hey, boys and girls, look at this. We got this is actually what the motor, well, this is actually for strength all the way across here to connect the two holes so things don't go flexing and stuff. These holes don't flex. This is one solid thing. It's not supposed to flex. So the motor mounts here. Yeah, now we can take that out, honey. Honey, now we can take that out. So now we can take my little spacer, my little wedger thing. What size? Yeah. Yeah, that's the same. Yeah, the same as here. Yeah. I'm going to take this out now. Okay. There we go. That was in between these two holes because this hole was tweaking in, and then we wedged that in there and brought it back up. Amazingly, this hole didn't go nowhere, but that hole went to where it should have been, or as close as we can get without kind of getting crazy. And we are pretty crazy sometimes. Okay, folks, we got the back super brace on, super structure, whatever you want to call it, 2x4. You can call it that too. Going all the way across. We leveled. That's the ultimate. Straightened up that whole super structure, hold it in place gizmo. Everybody knows what a gizmo is, I'm sure. So we are pretty much done for the day here, and it is 4:30. We're finishing early. Well, we're not done. We got to clean all this stuff up. I've got to figure out the next steps that we're going to do. Yeah. And then we'll do them. That's what we do. We figure it out and then we do it. So right now, we're going to keep cleaning this, and it's dripping down from between there, dripping down on the floor down there, everywhere. So we will be a cleaning, and I'm going to be slapping some on here. She's doing both, filling gaps and cleaning, and we'll be back with more epoxy party time. Paradise. Let me get back. Way back. Look at this rooster. Isn't that thing colorful? Look at how colorful that thing is. Huh? That's a nice looking rooster, if you ask me. Yeah, these are fighters. These are fighting cocks here. So that guy there is just colorful, folks, like a pheasant almost. But anyway, oh, I was gonna say paradise out. Let me get over here. Get where we are here. Paradise out.